Early chance for Bristol City. Vardy!
Oh, he's done it.
As well's got the finish. Here goes Bell. It's a brilliant run from Sam Bell all the way! Ruthless stuff for Bristol City.
Bristol City go again, one final time at Ashton Gate with the ultimate final boss in front of them, the champions Burnley. There is an undefeated record in BS3 in 2023 at stake for the Robins today, with a positive result giving City fans something to think about over the summer, and maybe hope this team can get better next year. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on Robins TV. I'm delighted to say that joining me this afternoon is a Bristol City legend. Joining me for this one is Tony Thorpe. Tony, welcome back to the Robins TV studio.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Big one today. Looking forward to this.
I am indeed, yes. Bristol City will want to sign off the season, last home game, and put a really good performance against the champions and worthy champions, Burnley. And you're basically, you're setting yourself up to finish off the season with a high last home game of the season.
Now, I didn't think it would, but the sun has just come out at Ashton Gate, and the sun always seems to come out first day and last day here at Ashton Gate. What are these sort of games like to play? And when you don't have anything to play for, the team that you're playing doesn't necessarily have anything to play for. Are the shackles off a little bit? A
little bit, yes. I think. We spoke last time I was on the show about Bristol City's form this year, and they are where they are. But there's, me and you were having a general chat 5 minutes ago, saying there's not a massive difference between getting promotion, finishing the top 6, or even being in the bottom 8, if that makes any sense. They're competitive games. It's a championship level. It's really tough. Bristol City are a really good team, but they're just slightly not got the results that would take you into that top 6 this year, and you've just said, hopefully they finish off the season well and kick on again next year, because it's a progression. Every year's kind of progression for me. Can they stretch into that top 6 next year?
Yeah, we talked about as well, this is a young team. They've had some tests this season, no bigger really probably than Manchester City in the FA Cup. This is a Premier League team in waiting now, Burnley, so it's a great test again for the young players and the kids that have come through. Alex Scott's, Cam Pring, players like that. Another great test for them today.
Absolutely, yes, you're right. They're a Premier League team in waiting, Burnley. You're going to be setting yourself up against, the best team in the division. Are also going to be playing Premiership football next year. So you're going to be against your man, and you're going to be like, listen, I need to dominate you today. I want to show everybody out there that you're no better than me, and I can perform at this level as well.
Yeah, OK, well, let's look at the runners and riders, as it were, then, for today. The final home game of the season, I should say. So let's have a look at today's teams, and we'll start with the visitors from Burnley, who have actually made 5 changes for this one. Obviously, Vincent Kompany wanting to have a look at some of those players that he needs to ahead of the summer. They've made 5 changes to the team that won in midweek. So Bailey Peacock-Farrell comes in between the sticks. He starts in goal, and Man City loanee Taylor Harwood-Bellis starts at centre-back along with Amin Al-Dakil, and Connor Robertson, Ian Matson will take up the full-back positions. The ever-reliable pair of the two Joshes are in the middle, Cullen and Brownhill, and they should give licence to Manuel Benson and Vitinho to maraud up and down the flanks today. Scott Twine and Lyle Foster get those rare opportunities, as I say, to maybe give Vincent Kompany something to think about over the summer. On the bench for the Clarets, substitute keeper today, Muric, watches from the bench along with Jay Rodriguez, Ashley Barnes, Michael Obafemi, Jack Cork, Charlie Taylor and Charlie Casper. As for Bristol City, though, it's business as usual in terms of last week. The only change comes on the bench. So your starting 11 remains the same today. The back 4 will be Cal Naismith and Zach Viner, with the 2 fullbacks there being Cam Pring and George Tanner, who did so well, the pair of them, last week. They start again. Andy King and Matty James go again in central midfield. Harry Cornick and Sam Bell hopefully supplying all the ammunition for Tommy Conway to go in search of his 9th and maybe 10th championship goal of the season. On the bench for City, Harvey Wiles-Richards, Jay De Silva, Joe Williams, Andy Vyman will be hoping he can improve on goal number 50 in a City shirt later on. Mark Sykes, Naki Wells and Thomas Callas replaces Anis Mehmeti in the squad. So looking at that, today, Tony. I mean, the two benches for both sides are very strong. This feels like it's a game that is going to go all the way in this 90 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Bristol City, I've just been speaking to Mickey Bell in the Players' Lounge just then and asking him about the young kids coming through. You can see from the lineup there that fair play to Nigel. He sticks with Conway, Bell, Scott, and these are the young lads that have come through and done really well this season. I've been impressed with Pring and Tanner, personally. It's not like an ex-centre forward to be impressed with two full-backs, but I think they've had a great season. But yeah, it's going to go to the wire. You know, both got really strong benches, as we've just seen. But you touched upon it earlier. These are a Premier League club in waiting, and these are the games that you look forward to playing in because you're basically testing yourself against the best.
Yeah, Nigel Pearson. We're going to hear from Nigel Pearson very shortly. But just before we do, he mentioned earlier in the week that he'd like to have another look at Thomas Callas. He's back in the squad today. Always great to have Thomas back in the squad. You know, an opportunity for him to really stake his place to stay next year.
Absolutely. I don't think Nigel's afraid of playing the youngsters, which is really refreshing to see as a manager. You know, if the team's having a difficult period, he's not afraid to bring a young kid through the ranks and give him an opportunity. I think it's refreshing. I think it's great for the city to have, you know, homegrown players playing in their team, and they've done brilliant this year. Those lads, first season for some of them, but they've taken it really, really well, and I'm sure they'll kick on from that.
Okay, thank you, Tony. For now, it's time for us to hear from the manager. As promised, Nigel Pearson has been chatting to Robbins TV.
Nigel, some managers at this stage of the season will be tempted to change their team. Was there any thought of mixing things up a bit?
We always talk as staff as to what we think is the best situation for the team. Look, unchanged because the team performed really well last week, and we have a very, very strong bench too. So I keep pointing it out. Everybody's important, whether they're on the bench or whether they're starting. They potentially will have a big part to play in the game, and that's what I want from all of our players, is to have that mindset that they can contribute in a positive way. Be a tough game today, but so what? We should look forward to these really tough encounters, because progress is one thing, but if we want to be challenging at the top, then we have to be able to pit our wits against any side. So yeah, it'll be interesting today. We don't want to be a part of their party. We want to respect them, but play well for us.
You're not in the business of keeping players happy. No Anis Mehmeti today. His time will come, won't it?
Yeah, and look, it's about balance. Balance on the bench, and for him it's a disappointment, but he'll probably be back involved next week. And that's something that players have to deal with. Nothing's changed. He's a real talent, and he will get his opportunities again, and yeah, he's here for the long term.
Thomas Callas has had a frustrating season with injury. To get him in the squad, potentially on the pitch today, how important is that for him, and also for you to look at him?
Well, first and foremost, I look at it for what the team needs, and if we have any problems at centre-back, it's good to have a specialised centre-back available, and so it's a no-brainer. It would also benefit him, I think, himself. He's had a few comebacks, but he's remained upbeat throughout, and I think it's important for us to have some sort of clarity, and for him, he needs some clarity, and in terms of what the future looks like. But all those things will be decided come the end of the season.
You're playing the champions, but equally we haven't lost at home in the league since the turn of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
What will it take for us to get a positive result today?
Well, we need to be at our best, and we need to be able to take our chances when they come along. They've got a very exciting group of forwards, and they play with generally speaking, play with a right footer on the left and a left footer on the right. So a lot of their attacks are, they have penetration, and we've got to be at our best, obviously, to stop that. But our best form of defence is to be positive ourselves, and so it's really important for us to show our own identity today. I think it's become much clearer than it's been in the past, and we have players who can cause any team problems on our best days. We have to make sure today is one of our best days.
All the best today.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Nigel Pearson there chatting to Dave Barton, and you might be wondering who's joined me here in the studio. It's the FA Women's Championship trophy and the winners of the Barclays Women's Championship, Bristol City. So we've got the head coach Lauren Smith and Shania Hales with us as well. Firstly, congratulations. You must still be thrilled after what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, we're really pleased. It's been an interesting week in training, that's for sure. Very much on a high, and it's been like no pressure. Let's enjoy this week and look forward to tomorrow. But we've done the business, so it's exciting.
And Shania, be honest. We'll pretend Lauren isn't here. How long did the party actually go on for on Sunday? Did it go over into Monday?
I mean, a few people were still out, but I mean, me, I think I'm a bit older than I am, but I was ready for bed after Ashton Gate. But no, it was good. It was good to celebrate with friends and family and obviously teammates and staff members. That was probably one of the best bits after the game. Nice.
And winning it in style as well, by the way. 4-0 winners here at Ashton Gate against Charlton. I mean, it really encapsulated the season, really, Lauren. You've looked like the team that's, you know, got it about them to go up first and win the division, and Sunday you certainly proved it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was written that way a little bit with it being here at Ashton Gate in front of a record crowd. All of the little bits seem to come together, but you know, now we've done it, you can say that it was the right time to do it. If you'd have asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have taken it at any point, I think. So, but yeah, it was a great game and performance from everyone that involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, you know, the thing I want to ask now is, you know, going into the WSL next season, as we see the girls celebrating lifting the trophy now, are eyes already on the WSL campaign, or are you liking to have the summer off first, or are you already thinking about next season?
Football moves very fast, so yeah, and it has been part of this week to start looking forward, and obviously that's sometimes a bit difficult because players will depart, which they've done it in the best style possible, which is great, and then we have to look at rebuilding what this looks like going forward. So yes, it's been a very hectic week, one that we've enjoyed, but yeah, it's been difficult at times as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shania, I want to ask you as well about that culture that this group has. You all seem to be friends with each other. There's no cliques or anything like that. It doesn't matter what position anybody's playing in. It's not strikers hanging out with strikers or vice versa. You all seem to be so close together. Is that kind of the secret of how this came to be?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously with it being my first season, that I've came in and I felt so welcome, and I think I'm quite shy, but I think it took me 2 weeks to get out of that because I just felt welcomed by the staff and, like you say, the players, and you can literally go and sit with anyone at dinner, at lunch, whatever, you know what I mean, because everyone just gets on. So I think as a team we all wanted to do it for each other, and obviously we did, so that was the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a near perfect season, and I say near perfect because City have won the league, but there's one more thing to achieve, and that's getting you the golden boot, Shania. So tomorrow Bristol City take on Birmingham City away from home. Shania, you're on 11 goals. There's 2 others on 11 goals. All eyes on you, I guess, to maybe get the golden boot as well and really cap off this season.
Yeah, I think it would be nice. Like, I came here obviously to add a few goals and help Abby out from last season. And obviously, I've come and done that. So I think, yeah, that would be nice to put a cherry on top of the cake to get the golden boot.
Perfect way to end it. I mean, and Lauren, you know, we saw at the end of that video there, season tickets after the game on Sunday, they went through the roof. Fans are already looking to get their season tickets, so that must be pleasing to see that this is going to be your home for next season, and you know, fans want to back you all the way next year.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be able to play here next season and play all our games and really make it a home and a fortress again, like we've done at the HPC this year. And the crowd that we had at the weekend, and the fact that then they followed it up with buying season tickets and smashing our record, unbelievable amounts, just shows that we're in a really good place, and there's a lot of people behind us, and that helps us so much.
Yeah, well, look, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Enjoy the party after tomorrow night as well, when the season's properly done and it's properly finished, and enjoy that you guys are getting a round of applause as well later on, and a guard of honour, a lap of honour if you like, around the stadium at the end of the game today as well. So enjoy all of that and enjoy tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, for us then here on Robins TV, still to come here on the show, we're going to hear from Zach Viner, the man of the moment, chatting with Toby Osborne about his career so far. That's still to come here on Robins TV.
So we've got all this outdoor space here, and it's perfect for companies to come in, whether they're small or large. So we cater for maybe a team of 12 or a team of 800. They can come here, have a really positive experience and be rewarded for all their hard work in the office or whatever industry they're from.
As we've got such a big company, a lot of us don't see each other.
Being able for the first time to get everyone out together in one place doing an activity together was great for team bonding and boosting that morale.
We can hone in on specific skills such as communication, leadership, teamwork, resilience. Here we've got a 400-metre military assault course, which is fantastic for team building. If you want a morale booster, this is the place to come.
It all starts with a dream to play football, to make our city proud. For these young Bristolians, football is more than just a game. The future is now. It's in the hands of these young players. They were once just like these kids, dreaming of one day playing for their club. Now, they're the stars of BS3. Join these players and thousands of other City fans on our exciting journey.
Welcome back to Robins TV. By my watch, we are less than 15 minutes to go until kick-off. The players are just making their way into the dressing room now. So time for us to hear about one of City's star performers this season. Zach Viner has been a stalwart at the back for Bristol City this season, and he's also been talking to Toby Osborne about that and his relationship with one of his best mates at the club, Max O'Leary.
Me and Max we've known each other for God knows how long now. We sort of, I think the first time we met was a county training session or trial, I guess, I don't know. And we were, I can't remember where I was playing then. I was probably running around everywhere, and I think he was centre half at the time, and we were year 6, I want to say. And then he obviously went off to a different school, and then we were obviously still in the City Academy. I joined when I was 9, and I think he joined a couple of years later. But he, you know, I get on with him really well. We're great mates, and you know, we went to school together, like you said, and yeah, he's a funny guy, and we get on quite well. And like I said, he sits on the coach next to me, so he's and broad shoulders, just digging into me all the time. But no, he's a good lad.
Making himself seem bigger than he is.
I know, yeah, he's sitting there like this.
But you both strike me as very sort of laid back guys. Are you very much kind of like that off the pitch as well?
For sure. We're both. That's why I think we get on quite well. You know, we're very similar. Don't take ourselves too seriously and just crack on. You know, it is what it is, really. It's you know, we just try and get on with everything as well as we can. Like you say, good times, bad times, and we've always been there for each other as well. You know, when he's been on loans and I've been on loans, we're always checking in on each other. So yeah, he's a good mate. He's a really good mate.
You've sort of mentioned there's been low times. Has there been particular moments where you sort of felt as though things weren't sort of going for you as a footballer, or really your way? I mean, players are constantly going through that kind of churn, and it is a ruthless, as we know, particularly in the current economic climate as well. It's a ruthless environment to kind of be a part of.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely been times last year, for sure, where, you know, I was coming home from games and I was just sort of sitting there, not really thinking, just zoning out and just sort of staring. Nothing really. That was sort of the best way I could describe it. There were a few, you know, some dark times last year, and in previous years on other seasons and whatnot. But I think, like you say, I think you'll find it hard to find a footballer that hasn't. But the way I dealt with it was just making sure that I'm gonna turn it around. You know, I want to prove everybody wrong. I want to go out there, and the next time I want to make sure that nobody thinks this, and I'm happy with my performance, and I'm, you know. But yeah, there's definitely been some dark times, and that's where I've got to pull on my family, I've got to pull on friends, and I have to make sure that I'm not just dwelling in that moment, and I can try and snap out of it as quick as possible. So I think that's sort of the best way that I got through it last year, and I just tried to not let too much stick, because there was, I'm a human. I'm going to see it. I'm going to hear it. I'm going to see it, and yeah, there was definitely some low times last year, but I just, like I said, make sure that I try not to stick in those moments and just keep it moving.
And how far do you think this team can go? I mean, just looking at that backline, the fact that you're 25 and you're the oldest across that back four, and then look beyond that, and then you've got the two sort of stalwarts last night of Andy King and Matty James, but there's just an abundance of talent now really at the club. And it's a club, I guess, that's had to deal with so much financially and throughout COVID, etc. as well. But you must feel as a group there's, potential, a lot, exciting things to come in the coming seasons.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, the amount of, we were just chatting before the cameras were on, I mean, young lads that are coming through and stuff, and like you say, you still have the experienced guys to sort of guide us through, and I think we're in a very good place as a club, and as sort of going forward, we can see that there is a pathway for young lads. There's not just a pathway, the majority of the squad is lads through the academy and coming through and getting a chance to prove themselves, and I think that's massive for the club on a whole, and the fans sitting here going, okay, well, he's come through and he's grinded the whole way through to get to this point, so it's sort of that much sweeter. But yeah, I think we're in a good space, and we have to make sure that we capitalise on it whilst we're here, and we can do it now. And like you say, we have a back four of sort of 25, 24, 23-year-olds. So we're doing the job. We're doing what we need to do, and there's obviously stuff we need to improve on. Of course there is, and like everybody, but we're making sure that we're sort of feeling good, and we're doing the right things, and we're always learning, and we're trying to help each other and trying to encourage each other, and just building that confidence together as a back four, and that cohesion can only take us on to better things. So absolutely, I feel like we're in a good place.
Zach Viner, one of our favourites this season on Robins TV. We were just talking about Zach off air there, Tony, and had about his season that he's had. What a season! Going from almost somebody that we didn't think would be starting every game to now undroppable in some ways. Yeah, he's been pretty close to Player of the Year, I think. Like you said, somebody got injured, he came in. And he's performed really well this year. I've been really impressed with him, which we spoke about, obviously, Tanner and Pring, but he's been part of that back four as well, and done a great job. Yeah, and mentally as well, so strong, not just in games, but talk about his whole career, of how he's sort of, gone from somebody who wasn't necessarily a fan's favourite to now. That takes some mental strength, Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't a fan's favourite, but you'd definitely say he is now. He's so laid back. I've just looked at his interview there. He's so laid back. He's a lovely guy. He's got his feet on the ground. And, the Bristol City fans should be over the moon, because, he's had a good season. He's come in, which we spoke about, Nigel, not afraid to put players in at the right time. Whether it was lucky or unlucky for Zach, he's come in and he's been one of the better players this year. Right then, looks like we are almost ready to go. Let's get a final prediction from you then, Tony. What do you reckon today? I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit. I think this will be a draw. Okay. I think Bristol City will play well. I think the game will be won in the middle of the park. Like you said, Burnley are worthy champions, and Bristol City players have got to test themselves against the best. And I think this is where Bristol City come into their own, when they're playing against a really strong team. Okay. I think it'll be 1-1. Okay, 1-1 is the prediction from Tony Thorpe. It's now time for you to buy your matchday pass if you haven't done already. Thank you for watching on Facebook and YouTube this season. It's now time for you to buy your matchday pass, which you can do so at bcfc.co.uk.